I recently published a video telling folks they should not rush out to buy a fancy, dumber phone or a feature phone until they tried simplifying their current phone first. But if you want to make your phone more minimal, what does that look like? Hey there, this episode of Some Gadget Guy is brought to you by viewers like you. All of the incredible people sharing content across social media and the generosity of my patrons over at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. More info on those amazing nerds later in the video. Let's get basic, let's go simple. The name of the game is reducing distractions and reminding your brain that you don't need to seek out distractions. There are definitely levels to this, but in this guide, we're going scorched earth. I'm trying to find the easiest, most direct path to basic. Step 1, back up your current data, photos, text messages, documents that you need on device. Back that all up because step 2, hard reset and don't restore. I kind of do this with all my phone reviews, but I think more people should give this a try. We're going to start completely fresh. We're not going to replace all the apps and data you had on your phone previously. I mean, the photos, the text messages, the conversations, sure, but all that other stuff, we're going to leave that out. Which leads us to step 2 addendum, a week of heck. It's going to be tough for a lot of people, but I'm going to highly recommend you don't immediately restore all the apps you had before. Start as simple as you can and just install apps when you absolutely need them. I call this a week of heck. You get to a situation and then you realize, shoot, I really needed that other app. And then you have to install it and log into it in that moment. It's super annoying, but annoying can be good. We want a barrier. Maybe you don't really need all those apps and you can get by opening some web services in a browser instead. Or maybe a small speed bump stops you from using a service. Well, then it's a service you certainly don't need on your phone, but you won't really know what's mission critical for your phone until you've been using your simple phone for a couple days. Step 3, keep disabling the extra stuff. Okay, you've reset your phone. There's very little on there. I'd still recommend disabling pre-installed apps. Even Google apps and services, be as brutal as you can. Only reactivate an app as needed, but we're trying to boil this down to its simplest parts. Moving on to step 4, eliminate color. This one is a psychological tweak that I think many people misrepresent as the magic bullet. No color will magically turn your brain off, and I don't think it works like that. Instead, I think it helps you make your actions more deliberate, and it's just a reminder that you're actively trying to use your phone less. I think we take for granted how conditioned we are to look for little splotches of color, and those color splotches link to certain activities in our brain. So when we scroll through a list of app icons, our brain is cataloging and recalling all those splotches and all those activities. I am not a doctor, but I think that helps contribute to the wasted screen on time we all suffer. You open your phone to do one thing and somehow a half hour later, you find yourself 4 other activities deep, not quite understanding how you got there. The distraction is real. Now on recent Android phones, we can go to our main settings and search for grayscale. It should be in your accessibility settings. If you have an older Android, you might need to unlock your developer options and find the screen settings there. Congratulations, now your phone just looks a little less interesting, and you can't just coast on icon color. If you're anything like me, this slows you down just a little that you actually have to look for the icon or the text of the app you want. But you might have noticed that my home screen here doesn't have any icons on it because now we're going to make that visual identification just a bit more difficult. Step 5, install O-Launcher. Open source and no ads, O-Launcher is about as basic as it gets. It changes up the layout of your home screen and app drawer and replaces app icons with simple, basic text. There's a swipe to get into your phone, then you can go back home. There's a swipe to open up your camera. We swipe down for the traditional notifications and all the quick toggles, and then we swipe up for a list of apps as text. We long press on the home screen to get into our settings for the launcher, and that's it. There's not a lot else going on with O-Launcher. Plenty of other launchers can be customized to do a basic layout, and I used to recommend an old widget maker for text shortcuts. My combo in the past was Nova Launcher plus minimalistic text, but to be frank, that combo required a bit of tinkering and making widgets and trial and error to get everything to work, and it just wasn't practical for a lot of people who are not into that level of customization. O-Launcher brings both of those features together and streamlines them for simplicity. It's a lot faster now to get to this. And that's the trick. You now have a simpler, less entertaining, and less distracting device. You didn't need to buy a simple phone, you just need to make your current phone a little simpler, a little less distracting, and you need to stick to your guns on using it that way. Takes a bit of personal discipline. There are other little tweaks and things you can customize. I like to blur my wallpapers, so there's even less competition for my attention when I want to open an app. You might need to fine-tune your notification settings or do not disturb options, but those fine details, that's going to be up to you. The fascinating thing about phones and distractions, it's often not a situation like mine. I have so many notifications, I just have to keep picking up my phone to respond to everything. Often, for a lot of other people, it's the opposite. We've trained people to pick up their phone for no reason and go looking for a distraction. The steps in this guide should help you recognize that distraction-seeking behavior, and when you notice you're doing that, you can start to address it. And this is a topic I've been revisiting for well over a decade now. It seems to cycle back into the media every 3 or 4 years. In every cycle, the media acts like this is a totally fresh topic. Millennials are wanting to use their phones less. Gen Z is wanting to use their phone less. Gen Alpha is wanting to use their phone less. But this idea never really goes away. We're just dealing with more and more noise in our daily lives, and the main portal dumping all this noise on us is the smartphone. We have to be deliberate in canceling that noise and curbing those distractions. And my guide here might not be enough for some people, and those folks legitimately will need to buy a simpler phone or a more basic phone. But I really think it's worth trying this first with the tech you already own before you go out there and spend more money. And if you'd like some more info on some of these trends, in the description I linked my interview with a psychiatrist at UCLA from years ago. That's back when I was at Pocket now. And I just published an interview with an industry analyst talking about the most recent wave of this trend. Our time is precious. Our attention is valuable. Companies make a lot of money on us being distracted, but we have more control over our gadgets than we might think we do. And through our use of gadgets and technology, I hope you'll take care of your brain. As always, thanks so much for watching, sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel, smashing the bell icons. All of the support lately has been absolutely phenomenal. I cannot thank you enough, but especially this list of names scrolling by on your screen right now. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to my incredible patrons, all the folks on patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. They are literally helping to keep the lights on here in the Gadget Lab. Their conversations help guide the future path of my content. This video actually came from some of the conversations we've been having on Patreon and on the private Discord. They're basically the coolest tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. I hope you'll consider joining the community at patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. Now, you know where you can find me across the rest of the internet at SomeGadgetGuy, basically everywhere these days, but I'm trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons, a little on the Blue Skis, and a lot less so on the Facebooks and the Threads and the Instagrams, and none at all on that dumpster fire site. And I will catch you all on the next video.